What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Sorry for the delay. We still have some technical issues because somebody needs to join and he's fixing up the issue. But we are here and we are gonna start off the live stream by talking what didn't happen last on Sunday yesterday, because a lot of things did not happen and a lot of things uh, did happen, but not the things that we should, be expecting. But with me, as of now, is Norbert. How are you doing? Just on a personal level, not no football related.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Can't wait to talk about this wonderful game.
Okay. Um, I don't even know where to start because I already talked about it twice. I put out 2 videos, um, and it's I'm 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 more kind of, I'm not surprised, but I'm more disappointed. Maybe in myself because I was too positive last week, and maybe I jinxed it. But well, what I watched last, wait, what? Okay, um, I misread that. Malik, if you can hear me, I will bring you in a second. Um, it's better. I will bring you in a sec. Um, what I saw yesterday was just flashbacks from last season, from minute 1 to minute 90. There was nothing compared to what we saw last season, and that's my biggest, actually, fear. Like, it's actually a fear. It's not really an issue anymore. Like, it is what it is, but it's a fear because what I saw there yesterday evening, I've seen for plus 40 games last season, and there was no sign of anything we shown in that first half against Udinese. There was no sign of anything that's changed, and that's my biggest fear as of now. What do you made just globally of that game?
Yeah, it was exactly what we watched last year, the whole year. I thought we would continue where we left off after Udinese game, and that didn't happen. So it's really scary. It's really scary.
You know the the main thing about what didn't happen last, like, I let me bring Malik in really quickly. Okay, you're really big now, but I will change that in a minute. Um, my main issue yesterday was, um, it's a mindset going into that game. There was no, like, what we saw in that first half against Udinese, pressing, trying to win the ball high up the pitch, all those things. Like, there was no sign of that whatsoever. Like, not even in glimpse. Not even like last season. We had a few minutes here and there, like 15 minutes, where you're like, okay, it's still something, something to work around. Yesterday there was nothing. From minute 1 to minute 90, I've seen the same thing, and especially in the second half, that was more worrying. We just resorted back what we did last season. Just put those crosses in, whatever, like, just freestyle it. But there was no link up play whatsoever. And before I go into what I believe was the issue, or like one of the issues, I will ask Malik, what do you made of yesterday's game? Compared to last Sunday's game, basically. Oh, okay. People say they can't hear you. That's weird. You also have a little bit of echo. Can you check that? Can you speak and then bring?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Can you speak again? Um,
Yeah, I'm speaking. Is it fine? No, maybe.
Now it's fine. Now it's fine. I will ask you again in a minute because you're for some reason you were
Okay.
muted. But
Mm.
let's start with my first question I have. And sorry people for the mess, but I don't know what the issues are today. My I said in my preview, and I'm not gonna say that's the reason why we didn't play well or we didn't perform. You know, whatever. Like I can say this, and he could have done that, and we could have still not won that game. But in my preview, I said, don't change the winning side. Don't do it. Just go with the same. We play once a week, and I've already seen changes. You know, it's one, two Chesney, but that was forced. I was like, don't change it. You know, and we'll touch on Alexandro. I said, play Miretti because what I've seen in preseason and the first game, I thought he was important to what we did on the left hand side. He was always involved. Like everything that happened on that left hand side, where every single piece of danger came, also in preseason, he was involved in it. And I was like, I've seen Fajoli play in that second half. He's not fit. Like he's just not ready. He was terrible at Udinese, and yesterday he wasn't good at all. Like he was completely off pace. He wasn't involved, and when he was involved, it wasn't positive at all. You know, I'm not saying that's why we didn't win that game, but I was like, okay, it's the second game of the season. You already mixed it up. You know, just I've seen Fajoli play um, in that second half with Udinese, and I'm like, he's not ready. I think everybody made that had that conclude. Like everybody said it. You know, he's not ready. So that's the first thing I didn't like because that left hand side was it was just completely dead. You know, nothing from Cambiaso. I don't think Chiesa had the worst of games in terms of like losing possession, whatever, but nothing was coming off for him. You know, there was no link up plays, and we were just going back to last season where we were just giving him the ball and, you know, please, please make it happen. That was the vibes I was getting from that first half. And I was like, man, here we go again. How can you, like, how do you go from what you showed at Udinese for a half to showing absolutely nothing, not even 5 minutes of pressing or whatever at home, first game of the season. And I want to say I don't get it, but I do get it. And that's again, that's a scary part because I wasn't even surprised. I was just disappointed in myself because I thought, you know what, maybe there are some changes. But the big picture, 2 years compared to 45 minutes, I can say, I don't know if you agree, those 45 minutes were probably a fluke. No?
Uh, please, I don't know. It's we all hope it wasn't a fluke, but come on, we're back where we were last year, and I agree. Miretti should have started, but I knew he will not start. I don't know. I think I told everyone that he will not start because if Miretti only played 45 minutes against Udinese, he will not start the next game, and this is how it was. And Miretti really felt like he was missing from even like pressing as well. Um, so I don't want the previous game to be a fluke. I just leave it like that.
I don't want that, but I think it is. What do you think, Malik? You think it was a fluke, or you think it was just a bad game of football?
No, I don't think it was a fluke because we played well all of preseason. What we saw against Udinese were things we saw in preseason too. It's just that my concern was after the game. I even said this in the Discord. I just hope we keep this up because, you know, consistency is something we really lack. And even just consistency, as you said, don't change a winning team. Allegri, ever since he came back 2 years ago, has used a different lineup every single formation. I think I read the stat, was it like 109 games and it was 109 different lineups, which is absolutely insane. So we do lack that consistency. And yeah, I just, you never know, maybe against Empoli that fluidity shows up again. But we just don't seem to keep that up for a full 90 minutes, and we haven't been a consistent. We haven't had a good 90-minute game in a while, honestly. We've
Yeah.
always been a one-half team. It's either first half we're dead, second half we wake up, first half we're alive, and second half we just doze off.
I'm willing to bet a lot of money that it's a fluke and that we're not going to see anything really good at Empoli. I'm pretty sure about that because even post game, let's move to post game, because I've seen players talk and I'm like, you don't respect us. Like I'm sorry. Like when Perin comes out now, it's a rebuild. It's a lot of new players mentioning it's a process. I'm like, no. This is year 3. I don't want to hear it. Like way I came in that team and Cambiaso. You didn't change 6, 7 players like Chelsea are doing. That's not happening. Like that's not happening. You know, that's not the case. And when I hear Danilo speak, I love the spirit we show in the second half. I'm like, you know what? It was bad. It was like last season. I've read those excuses 1,000 times. If you scroll through Danilo's Instagram feed, it's just copy paste, but just different words. It's the same thing after a single bad result. It's we're still learning. I'm like, come on, like you're 34 or whatever. Like you're not gonna learn. Like this is what it is, you know, for you personally and other players personally. As a team, you've been playing together for like 2-3 years, whatever. Most of the team, there's no improvement, you know, because okay, we have one half against Udinese, but I have 2 years and 1 game to show you there's no improvement, because I will look at those 2 years instead of those 45 minutes any day. You know, if it was a flip side, I'm like, okay, it's 1 game, you know, but there was nothing yesterday, absolutely zero from minute 1. That was my biggest issue. From minute 1, I was like, this cannot be happening again. Like, what is happening? Like you're being outplayed by Bologna at home. A Bologna side, well, not bad. They can play, but they're a mid-table team. They will finish between 9th and like 13th. That's where they're gonna finish. And you got outplayed. We shouldn't have won that game. I'll put that out there. Was it a pen from Junior? 100%. Was it a pen on Chiesa? 100%. So I'm not gonna make excuses about penalties or whatsoever. You should be beating Bologna at home without any problems. And we failed to do that because yesterday I came out and I hit record, and the first 2 minutes I was speaking about we lost that game, and I deleted the video. I restarted because I thought we lost. And like in minute 3, I was like, we didn't lose. It was 1-1. So I deleted that and I recorded it again because it felt like a loss. You know, it felt like a loss to me personally. The only hope, or like the only positive thing about the weekend is Lazio and Roma are worse than us. Like they look absolutely crap, like completely. Like they're not good. That's the only positive I have going out of that weekend, and it's only match day 2. That's what I think. So for me, those 45 minutes were a fluke. Even in preseason, like we had good halves, you know, and then it was again nothing up top. So I don't know.
I don't know. Cambiaso was also pretty bad, and we didn't see the same inverted movements like he did, or we saw it, but not much, like against Udinese and Chiesa as well. I don't know. It was just a mess. So sad.
You know, on Cambiaso, I like when he played well. I gave him man of the match against Udinese, but I also said I'm not gonna go overboard. I need to see consistently before I'm like, yes, man, I'm completely wrong. And that's why, and I'm not saying he's not going to prove me wrong. I hope he does. But like, that's why I didn't go overboard, you know, because I knew what was waiting around the corner. I had a feeling, not just for him, by the way, just in general. So I was not going overboard. Like a lot of people, oh, he's the best, like starting Azzurri player. I'm like, just pump the brakes, because at Bologna last season, he also had a lot of very weird performances, not so good ones. But yesterday, he wasn't terrible, by the way, but it wasn't as flashy as last week because there was no link-up play whatsoever on that left-hand side, you know. And I think it's because of Miretti. It plays a big part of it because he was drifting in, taking Cambiaso's role. Cambiaso drifting in midfield. Like, it was a lot of interchanging. And yesterday, it felt like it was just all really on that sideline fixed, a bit like when Kostic plays, to be honest. But Mali, what do you think? Like, if you need to pick one reason why we had that performance yesterday compared to Udinese, what would you put it down to?
I do think playing Fagioli was a mistake. He's still coming back from an injury. Sure, he had a great season last season and everything, but as you said against Udinese, he was still off and clearly not ready. I don't understand the logic about not starting Miretti. He had a good game as well against Udinese. So, yeah, I don't know. That seemed, as you said, the left hand side didn't look as flashy. The interchanges weren't there. Everything just looked as the movements were staggered. The passages of play weren't good. It was a completely different team. All that and just one player is different, which is quite concerning. I can't lie. But yeah, the only positive I found yesterday was Vlavic's goal was nice. But this we won the 3 points, not the Puskas.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Let's move on to individuals before we go back to team performance. I want to talk about. No, I want you guys to talk about Locatelli because people think I have an agenda against him. I don't have an agenda. Like I'm hoping so much he succeed, and I don't like him in that position because he's not good at building up play. He's actually terrible at it, if I'm being honest. But out of position or not, what he's putting out there is, how do I need to put it nicely? It's not embarrassing.
Mediocre.
It's mediocre. Like, and I'm being very nice here. It's unwatchable. Like, it's unwatchable because he is messing up basic stuff. You know, it's just like he's messing up very easy things, in my opinion. You know, and when he tries to flip the play or play some long balls, I'm like, if you can't do it, don't do it. You know, because you're making yourself look much worse than it should be. But even yesterday, like, he was giving away possession very cheaply in positions where I'm like, why? Like, why? Like, why would you do that? You know, he is, man. He's really on my nerves now because I don't know what to do with it. Like, what do you make about it? Because when I speak about it, people say, "Oh, you have an agenda," but man, I don't think this is an agenda anymore. Like, he's not good. Like, he's not playing good. Like, basic stuff. That's my issue. You know, not positioning, DM position, whatever. Just basic stuff.
Yeah, and we don't have a proper DM. Like who like putting Fagioli there or Miretti or whatever. It's a waste of talent. We don't have anyone else who can play there. I mean, he clearly can't play there. Um, I'm sorry. I'm done with Locatelli. I don't care if he's a Juventino. I'm done. It was like, okay, when he came, let's give him time. Let's give him time. How much time do you want to give him? I'm done. He should not start.
Okay, I'm not going at that point, but I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't care if you have nobody else in your position, but you might sit one out here because playing every week is not really helping your case. What do you think, Malik?
Uh, Last year, I think we spared him because he was playing pretty much every week, and he's the only DM we have. Although he's not a DM, let's face it, he's a number 8, not a number 6. Which is why all of last season I was looking forward to the return of Rovella,
Yeah.
so Locatelli could be freed from the shackles of the Regista role. And yeah, we sold Rovella, and I'm of the opinion that that was kind of a bad move because we lack that sort of profile. We literally do not have a number 6, and but at the same time, Locatelli does need to up his game because every time he does play, he's become very frustrating to watch, honestly, and it's disheartening because I think we were all excited about signing him 2 years ago after it took like months to get him and meetings upon meetings with Sassuolo.
Did, but um, I get your point, Calvin. I will never slate a player because of his price tag. Like that's not on the player. That's on the club. You know. So I'll never say, oh man, you cost 100 million. You need to perform. Like you need to perform just because you have the abilities to perform. You know, if the club paid €1 for you or 300 million, that's not your issue. You know, that's something that's the club. You know, that's even wages. Like if they hand you out 20 million, yes, you're gonna take it. I would take it. You know, if it doesn't match your abilities, well, that's on the club again. You know, so I'm not gonna hold that against any player. We overpaid, but we overpaid for Vlahovic, we overpaid for the Ligt at the time. You know, that I will stand by those opinions. Good players, but we overpaid. So that's that. But we need to find a solution to free him up because I don't think he's very good in that position. Allegri spoke about Fagioli can play that position. I'm not so certain about it. People say Nicolucci. I'm not so sure about that as well. But something needs to be changed. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not going to lie. But if you are going to play a full season again with Locatelli in that position, it's going to look very frustrating and ugly in most of those games, in my opinion. You know?
Yeah, and also it's so weird that we had the solution. We had the solution right
Yeah.
there,
Everybody's saying in
and
the chat.
Rovella, yeah.
and we wasted Rovella for peanuts. I really don't
Yeah.
get it.
And it's very disheartening because we all know what Locatelli is capable of. We saw it at Sassuolo, we saw it at the Euros with Italy when he does play in that mezzala position, but as a regista, he just ain't it. And it's a shame. It feels like he's being wasted in a sense.
The Rovella one is very confusing, but because of like you said, it's cheap. You're getting that money in 2-3 years times, and now I'm seeing Nicolucci staying at the club, and I'm like, you're not gonna play. Like you're not gonna play. Like you're just like, let's be honest. If Miretti and Nicolucci say, and Mikani is there, he's not gonna play. You know. So I'm like, surely, if you're just shipping out Rovella to get money in 2-3 years time, you can get Nicolucci money in 2-3 years time. It's not maybe 14, but it could be 7. You know, if it's just in 3 years time, whatever, you could have managed that. You could have used Rovella playing that natural position. So I agree. I don't get that move completely because at the time it was like, oh, you're gonna get Diarra, you're gonna bring in a midfielder, and I'm like, okay, fine, I guess. But man, we're bringing in absolutely nothing. So I'm still waiting for Giuntoli to appear in front of that mic, and that will probably happen at Empoli. And somebody asked him the question, like, what, like squad building wise, what was the point of sending out Rovella, gone, and keeping Nicolucci? Because I don't get that. Like people are hyped about Nicolucci. I cannot be hyped for a player that is probably not going to play. Like he's just not going to play. So I don't know what that's about, but it's done, and Locatelli's gonna need to make it work somehow. Like, good luck. Good luck to him
We have
because he's not.
we have 7 midfielders and none of them regista. It's still insane to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
squad building wise, it's not good. It's not.
Like if we would play like a 3-4-3 or something with Loka, one of the pivot, and I don't know, Pogba or Rabi or whatever is the second one, then we would need a good center back who can play the ball good, and we don't have that, so it doesn't matter. Like at this point, it's too late to do anything.
I agree.
So
We don't
many
have money.
holes in this.
Yeah.
I wanna ask a very straightforward question because maybe it's just me, but I've seen it in the chat. I've seen it online, and people are saying that second half wasn't bad. You guys explain to me
How?
why it wasn't bad, because
No,
I don't get it, and maybe it's
it
just
was.
me. I don't get it.
It was bad. Just we had Pogba on the field, and then we just did the same things like last year. One of the crosses was perfect, and that's it. We were bad.
The only difference I had was like we weren't getting dominated as much, but that's just because Bologna were leading and they were just waiting, and they had some opportunities on the counter. It's
There
just
you go.
that was the only difference. Like they gave us the ball a little bit, But other than that, like, what the hell did we do with it? Like, we did absolutely nothing. Like, the chances were crosses again, and people didn't believe me. Like Fajoli, I don't know what he was doing with that shot, but like the Vlahovic goal, like it wasn't like I don't like it wasn't set up inside the box or like if you know what I mean. Like there was nothing to be like, man.
Yeah, it didn't feel direct. Yeah,
It felt very forced. It felt very confused. It felt very rushed. You know, like just come on, make it happen. That was a vibe I was getting. A bit all over the place again, and it's it's game match day 2. It's not even September, and it's it's not
So
good. Now
sad.
the big and easy question, I guess, and people in the chat, let me know because I need an explanation when I leave the stream today. Why is Alexandro starting games? Give me one, like just
no idea.
Left-footed.
even
Left-footed.
okay. That's what I
He's
was.
left.
Even if you don't
Yeah,
believe it,
maybe.
I saw that excuse and I saw people saying, "Oh, but Gatti isn't left-footed." I'm like,
Danilo.
okay, but what? Like, I don't want to disrespect Alexandro too much, but like, he's not left and he's not right-footed at this moment in time. Like,
Yeah.
his feet are like it's gone. Like he is terrible in every single aspect on that pitch. Going forward, in possession, defensively, name it. He is terrible. Like he is terrible. It's up to a point where even players like Ravagnelli, ex-players, are just like, screw this. Like I'm just gonna say it now because it's so
Yeah,
glaring.
exactly.
It's so obvious that like you cannot go on TV with a straight face and say, oh, Allegri knows what he's doing. Like you just can't because your reputation is gone. Your reputation is
Yeah.
gone. And I'm like, I'm at a point where I'm like, I know like management shouldn't get involved in coaching, but like, come on, you know, like board members like Juntuli and whatever, like Mana, have a chat with Allegri and be like, dude, like, what's happening over here? Like, like, are you sure? And even when Bremer was injured yesterday, I saw Rugani warming up. I'm like, we weren't doing that last season towards the end. He was playing Gatti, and he was playing well. Not left-footed or no right-footed, name it, whatever, you know. He was playing well. We have Danilo playing at center back. He's not a center back. Nobody's talking about that, you know. So I don't want to hear, oh, Gatti's not left-footed. That wasn't the issue towards the back end of the season. He wasn't making mistakes that was costing us games. Actually, he was winning us games. That's the mess up part. Like literally, he was winning us games or putting us back into games. Alexandro is costing us games, like Ravanelli said. Literally, because I have no idea what he was doing yesterday. Like absolutely, like it was, it's unbelievable. Like it's unbelievable, and people in the chat, like nobody can give me a good explanation. So what do we need to make of it? You know, is Allegri that stubborn, or does Allegri actually believe, you know what, this isn't bad? Does anyone believe that
Wait,
Allegri is thinking that?
wait, do I remember correctly that during the preseason it was Gatti, Bremer, and Danilo
Yeah.
mainly,
Yeah, it
right?
was.
So that also like why? Just why are you changing it? Why?
And remember that story that came out like towards the end of last season or over the summer where if Sandro didn't reach a certain number of games, his contract wouldn't be renewed, and Allegri knew this, and Man and Allegri had a discussion about this, heated arguments and stuff, and the club wanted to terminate his contract, and now they don't mind keeping him. It's just a mess overall, you know?
It's
Yeah.
it's not it's not funny anymore. Like it wasn't funny and ever. But like this is not normal. Like this is not okay. Like everybody, like there's not one person. Oh, there are a couple of persons who think Alexandro is actually not bad or good, but they don't care about the club. I will say it how it is. Like I'm sorry. Like if you think that's good, you absolutely do not care about this club. Like it is what it is. Like let's be completely honest here, you know, because you're putting your pride above the club. Just admit he's terrible. Everybody can see it. Like players, like great players like Ravanelli are like, hold up, I'm not backing this. Like I'm not doing this, you know. And the funny part is he wasn't even asked about it. He just Put it out there on the table. Why is Alexandro playing? He wasn't asked about it. And you're telling me you think he's good? Like, he's not good. Everybody can see it. At the start of this window, there were strong rumors from good sources. They were trying to terminate his contract. And now he's playing. And going back to the Udinese game, because the person who's putting those comments in knows who he is, saying, "Oh, you didn't praise him." I said he was good, but man, he gave the ball away a couple of times, and it almost cost us as well. But I was like, fine, positivity, first game of the season, I'm done. Like, I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be nice. He shouldn't be playing. Like, he should not be the starter. If Gatti is not left-footed, good. Switch to a back four. Danilo, I don't care if you're the captain. You're done. That is what a coach should be doing. But we're not doing that because we have sentiment at the club for the wrong players. For the wrong players. Like, absolutely legends of these clubs get disrespected, and players who are like, okay, thanks for your services, they get hold to a standard where you're like, what is happening with this club? So nobody can give me a good explanation, which is not a surprise. So let's move on, because against Empoli, he will start again. He will start again. I'm pretty sure about that. He's going to be stubborn, and he's going to play. So I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. That backline was terrible yesterday. And
So, sorry.
no, I was going to say that backline looked like we predicted in preseason. It's terrible. It's slow. Nobody can play out from the back. Bremer is good in the back three, but not the central guy. Like, he's not. Like, so I don't know what that's all about. And they are prone to make mistakes combined together. Like, an old Brazilian backline, you're like, they should, have a click. I don't know what that click is, but it's not clicking. Like, they look terrible. And it was Bologna at home. In the first half, I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, this is like watching Frosinone play Barcelona. I don't know. Like, that backline looked shambolic. They were all over the place. They were
Frosinone
getting
play
dragged.
better.
They were getting dragged out of position so many times that I was like, what is happening? What is happening? But we talked about it, and it is what it
I'd
is.
also like to add another point on our. I really doubt our match preparation, and generally, because even I saw a quote today by Baranecchia saying he was tired after the first Frosinone training. And how many times have we heard that when a
Oh,
player leaves
yeah.
Juve, has a training session at another club, and they're like, "Whoa, this is
Said
different."
as well.
Yeah, the left is like the main one, but like even Baranecchia, like Frozenone's coach, came out and said that, and that had me like, "Oops, our training methods may not be the best." No surprise, as it shows on the pitch. I guess.
Yeah, but compared to last season, I don't think fitness is the issue this season that much. I thought last season was
Well,
poor.
that's still early, but yeah.
Last season it was. I remember last season, like minute 15, there were players were dropping down with cramps, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, it's minute 50. That's not really happening. Like, the issue now is just there's absolutely nothing in that team. I still believe like that good preseason. Up top, but he needs to find a solution, because if he, and again, Miretti's not the key, but we play differently with Miretti when he's out. Like, it's a complete different thing, because it's not a coincidence if Miretti plays on the left hand side. Even in preseason, it looks different, the link up plays. And when you put out a player, you cannot switch to completely different football. Like, that cannot be the case. Whoever comes in needs to do the same job. Like, you can, like, if you know what I mean, like, you cannot say, yeah, like, it's that simple. Like, you cannot put out Miretti out of the team and there's no link up play in the left hand side. There isn't at all. Like, that cannot be the case. So it should not be based on a player. A player can make a difference talent wise, but the idea should always remain the same. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But that's that. That's those are the not the main things I want to discuss, but like individual. On a bad note, I guess that was what I was gonna discuss, because I did a review on the month that will come out tomorrow, so I don't want to spoil it that much. Uh, I want to ask, what do you make of because I didn't hear from Malik, so I'll ask Malik first. The entire, like, just the saga around Vlahovic. And the funny part is when Romano tweeted, "Here we go, Lukaku to Roma," Vlahovic put out a picture with, number 9 and hearts in black and white. So I thought he knew what he was doing. What do you made of that saga, just really quickly, that we were
Oh,
trying
that
to push him
saga.
out?
I'm glad it's over. Like the club keep trying to force Lukaku. They did it with Dybala. They did it with Vlahovic, and it just didn't make sense to me. Like, Vlahovic is younger, has more potential, is probably the better player right now, and Lukaku is in his 30s. The guy keeps changing his mind more times than I can count, and I just sure Allegri wanted him, but at some point Allegri is gonna leave, isn't he? This could be his last season. Next season could be his last season. Isn't in his last 2 years? Yeah, hopefully. And yeah, after that, Lukaku is gonna be washed, and it's gonna be hard to move him on, especially on those crazy wages. What was it, like 10 million, 11 million a year? Yeah, and just Vlahovic, wants to stay. He wants to fight. The fans love him, so I, I'm just glad he's staying. I love Vlahovic, and
I
I'm
love
happy.
Vlahovic.
Yeah, the
I
deuce is absolutely loose,
just
and I'm happy he's had a good start to the season.
that's yeah.
He's been involved in 3 of our 4 goals this season. Took his goal really well yesterday. He didn't have any chances, and he took the one he got. He got, you know, good service from Illing, and that was the only piece of service he got, really. But yeah, I'm encouraged. I'm glad he's staying. I can see the hunger in him this season.
Yes. Did you
I
see
feel
him
like
after the goal that was disallowed?
yeah,
He was like, "Go again,
Yeah.
just go again."
yeah.
Like whatever.
I love his mentality so much. I'm super happy he's staying.
Capitano.
Him and Chiesa, I want them to lead the club for the future. I see them as the leaders of this club, so
Yep.
I just hope, it stays that way.
You know,
And yeah, good luck to Lukaku at Roma, I guess. We'll see him at Lazio next season, I guess.
I wouldn't be surprised with Vlahovic. You know what it is? When I see him out there this season, I don't feel the vibe of "I'm gonna show you guys. You're trying to ship me out." I don't feel that type of anger. I just feel like he just wants to be here, and he just wants to forget what happened last season, injuries, and like nothing was coming off completely. Playing unfit, whatever, criticism, all those things. But when he plays, it doesn't give me the vibe like Dybala, staring down the management or whatever. Like that vibe I'm not getting, which I'm very happy, because then you're doing it maybe for the wrong reasons and it becomes toxic, if you know what I mean. He's just very
Yeah,
happy.
spiteful and stuff.
He's very happy to be here. Like he wants to be here, and he wants to make right what wasn't right last season. And I think he's off to a good start. Not goals wise. Like forget about the goals really quickly. Um, just the intentions on the pitch, even defensively. And I know he's a striker, whatever, but like tracking back. Like last season there was a big issue. He's doing it now, and he's effective with it, closing down spaces. Last season he wasn't involved whatsoever. He's involved. Like he's much more involved this season. And like um, Norbert said after the goal, I think season 2.5. He's giving me the vibes of, you know what, I need to step up. I need to step up now. Not just in actual play on the field, but like just being that guy. And looking at the players and be like the disallowed goal. Whatever. Like 30 minutes on the clock still. Let's go. Let's go again. Let's do it again. Not moaning, just going for it. And he needs it. We need it. We need it obviously, but he needs it. He needs it as well, big time. And 2 goals and assists. Yes, a pen, 2 disallowed goals. Not his fault. 2 times.
Wow.
He looks sharp in the box. It's just getting that service again, consistently. Because I believe when I heard all those rumors all preseason about Lukaku, Allegri wants a striker that can score 20 goals. I'm like, you have one. Like, you have one. He did it. I think he did it twice in Serie A. Like, you have that guy. So I don't know what that story was about, because the story was we need money, period. Plain and simple. He can get 20 goals, and he should be getting 20 goals. I'll put that out there. If he doesn't get 20 goals this season, I will be disappointed. I would. I really would, because he's gonna be the main guy. We play once a week. You should be hitting 20 goals. You should. I'm putting that expectation, because if he doesn't, he should as well be very disappointing in himself. You know.
Yeah, and he's not a 9. So what we saw against Udinese, he didn't play with his back to the goal. He's not a 9. He can't do that. And against Bologna now, he had to do it because there was nothing, and he still scored. So yeah, I want Dusan to be a captain few years. I'm not hiding it. I love the dude, and I love his energy, and he's Eastern European as well, and also closer to my heart a little bit. So let's go. I love him.
I don't like even the the people who don't rate him. Technically, they still like him, if you know what I mean. He's very likable, even if you don't like this about his game, whatever. I get it, you know. But they're not like, oh, he's a hateful, like, whatever. Like, just get him out for that reason. Like, I can't stand him, and that's something that he has going for himself. And he needs to like he needs to do it this season. Not just him, by the way, but the spotlight is on him, obviously, for so many reasons. Reasons we
Chiesa and
created as a club.
Vlahovic.
Yeah, like reasons we created as a club. Not we as fans, but like the club. So the spotlight is on him now. Time to perform, and this far, so at this moment in time, he's done it. He's playing well. So that's good. That's good. I guess that's one of the positives I wanna I wanna talk about. Now back to something strange, weird, which I still have no logical explanation for. So if anyone has one, feel free to chip in. Kostic Junior Cambiasso is the weirdest thing all summer. Throw in Parisi, throw in whatever. I don't get that story, because Allegri says, well, it's Cambiasso now. Like he didn't say that with those exact words, but like that's the direction he was going to. And 2 weeks in a row, Junior comes on, and Landucci says, "Yeah, we need more attacking impulse." So Junior, I'm like, fine. But then the market rumors are we're trying to ship out Junior, and I'm like, hold on, this makes no sense now. Like, who's lying? Is it reliable journalists, or is the club lying? But then I'm like, the club surely cannot be lying, because Kostic hasn't played a single minute this season, not coming off the bench. And I don't understand anything of that story. Like, would I sell Vlahovic? Kostic, excuse me. If a good offer comes in, yes. I don't hate Kostic like many people do. I like him because I know what he's gonna offer. I know what he can bring in certain type of games. I get it. But if I need to choose one of the three, I will probably do Kostic. I would, because he's older. There's no sell-on value. But he had double-digit assists last season. We cannot forget that, because I think it gets disrespected a bit too much. Because at one point during the season, he was the guy we were looking at. Just please save us, help us out. I think it was like a good month stretch, where we played a lot of games, and it was just like, please, Kostic, just show up. But he hasn't played at all. And according to the rumors, we're trying to ship out Junior. So the question is, what would you do in this situation? Like, what is the best solution, Malik? What do you think?
I like Kostic. I think is very overhated in our fan base. His output is really good. I can't lie. You know, you don't expect much from him, but you get what you can take. As you said, what he's gonna give you: crosses, assists. But I don't like his style of play, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he's on the older side, so his sell-on value is gonna decrease with time. He does have a market though, and in the Bundesliga and the Premier League, so we could take advantage of that. If I'd sell him for 20 million, if an offer comes, that would be great, because I believe we got him for around that, so that's fine. I like Cambiaso, I like Illing. They're two sort of different players. I like Illing's explosiveness, and I like Cambiaso's ability to invert. It's something that Kostic can't do. Kostic is very It's very linear, you know. So if we were to stick with Illing and Cambiaso, we'd go more towards a modern style of play. So yeah, and plus they're much younger with potential. So obviously, if I had to sell one of the three, because it would be best to just keep two for squad management, then Kostic has to go.
Before I go to Norbert, like you said, potential. When Junior came on, and I'll keep saying it, it's not all perfect. It isn't. But he brings something very unpredictable. He brings a certain energy where I'm like, that's what we need. We need it. He came on, first touch, he almost trips over the ball, pulls down a player because he was gone. And I'm like, he's going to do something in a few minutes. It could have been the pen. Like, it could have been. But it can also be the assist. Like, that's what you get with Junior. Like, it's very raw. But he is always involved in something excited, You don't have that with Kostic as much, if you know what I mean. Defensively, he needs to improve. I get it. But, like, when you bring him on, I'm like, okay, just sit back a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to do something, He's going to create something, or he's going to cause some issues that make us, I don't know, dangerous, whatever. And that cross was sublime. And Kostic could have put in that cross, because he has a great cross, if you know what I mean. But he's just constant, Junior. Like, he's in your face because he has, in my opinion, high energy. He's a winger. He is not a left back like we played him last season as well. But like you said, his potential is not great or like whatever, world class, but he has good potential for us. What do you think,
Yeah,
Norbert?
he's an
Kostic
exciting
gone?
player.
Yeah, so Kostic was 13 million euros, so I would sell him for the same amount. I don't care. I'm sorry, he's flat to me. I don't want him to see in Juventus jersey anymore. It's done. Cambiasso and okay, it was a little rough. Okay, I don't hate him. Yeah. um, um, Cambiasso and Ealing Junior has a skill set that is so more unique. And Kostic just crosses, and one cross will hit someone. I don't like it. And what we're trying to play and what we played against Udinese, Cambiasso and Ealing Junior fits a lot more. And on a side note, I would love to see Ealing Junior in a 4-3-3 one day, in with us, because
Same
that
here.
dude has potential to sell him for like 40 million whatever in the future. So yeah, Kostic, I read somewhere 25 million or whatever we want. No way, that's too much.
I don't know.
Someone offers 15 million, 20 million, that's it. Sell him.
Yeah, the club will accept that. I don't believe they're looking for that amount because it makes no sense. They're not going to get that amount. Like, we didn't pay for that amount. So Kostic would probably be better last season. Kostic would probably be much better this season because last year he was overused. I don't think he's going to top last season's assists whatsoever. And if you just look at general play, I think it's very hard to do better, if you know what I mean, because his contribution, like stat-wise, was extremely good. And that's what people maybe wanted more or like looked at more than actually his play, up to a certain point when even the assists were not coming anymore. And people are like, okay, it's done. Sorry, I was reading something. What else? What I was gonna ask? I had something prepped, but I lost a piece of paper. Let me see. I wrote it down as here. Okay, before we wrap it up, just because I won't have you on before we play Empoli, and that's September. So a really quick look ahead at September, because we play Empoli on Sunday, right? We play Empoli on Sunday, and then I'm lost. I think it was Lazio. I'm pretty sure it was Lazio. Let me check
Yeah, it's
because I wrote it
Lazio.
down. So in September we play Empoli away, Lazio at home, Sassuolo away, Lecce at home, and we end the month with Atalanta away. I'm not asking results, whatever, just general. What do you expect, and what do we actually need? Because those are two different things. What do you think, Malik?
I expect a mixed bag, honestly. There are some games where I'm like, we should win those, and there are some games that sound very tricky, like Atalanta, Sassuolo, Lazio. I don't know. Lecce don't look too bad either. They could cause us a problem. Hamza Rafia is having a good start as well. So remember him?
Yeah, I do,
Yeah.
but no. What do you think, Norbert?
Yeah,
September?
it's hard to say. I want to say I want to see us against Empoli before I can make a prediction on how is September is going to be,
Yeah.
because if we show what we showed against Udinese, then I will be lot calmer. But let me see: Empoli W, Lazio W, Sassuolo W. So you know what? Atalanta is on the 1st of October. In September, I expect. Hi. Okay, 3 wins and a
W's
draw.
across the board.
Uh, I don't know, 3 wins and the draw.
Yeah,
Um,
you're
I'm
you're
optimistic.
yeah.
I know. I know.
Yeah, very.
You're very optimistic. What I've seen, what I saw last day on Sunday, that doesn't scream a lot of wins. If I'm being completely honest, maybe away from home, but at home, probably not. But
Can only hope.
yeah, it's hope at this
No.
point.
Watch Lazio have the game of their lives against us after being crap for
Probably
the first two games. That's the game where they wake up.
that's a game when out of nowhere Ravella starts his first game as well. Probably.
Yeah, and Ravella
And
gets an
scores a free
assist
kick.
again. Yeah, exactly.
Empoli is a relegation side. Yeah, man. But that doesn't matter. They were last season. They
Yeah,
slapped us.
they destroyed us last season at the end. Remember? I'm not
Um,
forgetting that.
it doesn't matter. Like Maccabi are a terrible team. They slap. Like it doesn't matter where that team stands. Like quality wise, we have the capability to make anyone look good. They probably can make my Sunday League team look good. They probably can. It's unbelievable, but
Yeah.
it's a weird power they hold. I'm gonna yeah. Now we're gonna wrap it up because it's been an hour. We discussed everything, and I'm sick of it. So I'm done. I'm done with this game. I just want to move on to Sunday away from Empoli. We will preview that throughout the week. Me, Julian, we'll do that. So stick to the channel. Transfer news. Nothing. Panicea. Yeah, he's gone. Caio to Frosinone. Sule to Frosinone. And that's about it for this moment in time. So let's see if anything happens tomorrow. Bonucci, I'm done even putting out the news on Bonucci because he's gone. I could, like, wherever, I don't care. That's his issue at this moment in time. But other than that, nothing. Let's see if something changes tomorrow. I'm saying no. Yeah, I don't think anything is going to change unless Fulham offers 35 million for Keane, like something ridiculous like that. Then yeah, things are going to change. Other than that, no. But keep an eye on the channel as always. Thanks, Norbert. Thanks, Malik, for sharing the pain.
Of course.
Always a
Always.
pleasure to share
Okay.
the pain.
If you want to come on as well, you can become a member and come on. If you don't want to come on camera, soon there will be a call-in show. You need Discord for that, by the way. But I'm still resolving some technical issues because it needs to be perfect before I actually do the call-in show. But that will come soon. So stay tuned for that. Like the video if you haven't, because I didn't check and well, nobody liked. So please like it now, subscribe, and I will be back live probably tomorrow. So thanks for watching and see you.